Hello, how are you all this evening? My name is Dominic Long, and today I'll be presenting part one of a two-part video on the Antilopine kangaroo. Okay, as you can see here on this slide, this is the technical classification for the Antilopine kangaroo. Its technical name is the Macropus antilopinus, and as well as the Antilopine kangaroo, it's also commonly referred to as the Antilopine wallaroo. Okay. So the males get up to about 1.2 meters tall, whereas the females only get up to 840 millimeters tall, right? And the females tend to weigh about 20 kilograms, whereas the males can weigh anywhere up to about 40 kilos. 50 kilos. Okay, so the male's head somewhat resembles a mule. Um, and they also, unlike other macropods, they show sexual dimorphism, where the males are red but the females are gray, and they also share the same niches as red kangaroos, so they're often commonly mistaken for each other. Okay, so they share many characteristics with other members of their genus, um, including the Euro wallaroo and the black wallaroos, but they have more slender limbs like larger species of the genus, such as the red kangaroo. And they have very thick and furry tails as well. The antilopine kangaroo also consumes a variety of grasses, and its only known predator is the Homo sapien, which is us. Okay, so they form social groupings whose males assert hierarchical dominance over one another. But unlike the other kangaroos and other members of the genus, they have a ritual where the males groom each other before they go into battle. And they also have the ability to hop three times as tall as they are, both male and female. And they do have the ability to walk on all fours, but when they need to get around quickly, they hop. Okay, so once joeys reach their mother's pouches, the typical mob separates, and males form small sort of bachelor groups, and while females and young form large groups, mainly just for protection. Okay, and they're also nocturnal creatures because in Australia the climate during the day is just too hot. Okay, so because the antilopine kangaroos are marsupial, some to all marsupials, um, uh, the females carry their babies in a pouch on the outsides of their bodies. So they actually give birth to them very prematurely, and basically, this is where the young placenta develops inside of the pouch outside of the mother's womb, which is different between placenta animals like us, cats, dogs, cows, etc., where the placenta develops inside of the womb. Okay, so female marsupials have three vaginas and two uteruses. Um, The two outermost maternal sexual vaginas are used for sperm transportation to the two uteruses, and babies are born through the middle birth vagina. Okay, and with this unusual sort of reproductive system, female marsupials are able to stay constantly fertilized and basically constantly pregnant. And a unique feature about the female antilopine kangaroo is that they can basically do what's called embryonic dispause. And whenever there's a shortage of food because it's a dry season, or whatever, they can actually stop their placenta from developing and just hold it inside of their womb until they're ready to further nurture it. And this way that they multiply very quickly and in seasons where there's a lot of food. Okay, so recent fossil evidence in genetic research suggests that the Antilopine kangaroos originated in what is now modern day China on the ancient landmass known as Pangaea, as you can see here in this photo. But as we all know, that about 200 million years ago, Pangaea broke up into the different continents that we now know today. And it's believed that marsupials like the Antilopine kangaroo arrived in Australia about 50 million years ago. Um, and because they had no competition on the Australian continent for so long, they developed into 235 subspecies, which don't exist in dominance anywhere else around the world. Okay, by comparing skeletons from 35 living and extinct macropod species, the researchers have established that while early forms were adapted and abundant to the abundant soft-leaf forest plants, but later macropods had to adapt to more arid conditions. So this is the reason why the modern kangaroo, Antilopine kangaroo, is a lot smaller than their gigantic ancestors. Okay, and it's also believed that the original kangaroos, as you can see here in this photo, walked around on their hind legs, but they were mostly stationary animals. So for the new Antilopine kangaroo and others of the genus, they had to develop in such a way to where they could get around to many different habitats in Australia much quicker. Hence, they developed the fast hopping hind legs. Okay, and this here is also another photo of a prehistoric marsupial. As you can see, they look quite different from the kangaroos that we have today, but they do have some similar features. Like you can see right here, you can see the ears. You can see kind of the similar facial structure, things like that. But those animals were mostly stationary, and the kangaroos that we see today are very mobile. They don't tend to stay in one place for too long. Okay, so if you were looking for more information about the Antilopine kangaroo, you can check out the links here on this slide. All right, thank you very much for your time. My name is Dominic Long again, and I appreciate you for watching my video. All right, thank you. Bye bye.